The 20th of March, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Hi, Lou. Okay.
Okay, hopefully Phil will join us soon.
Yeah. Okay. So in the meantime, let's start.
Okay, so let's see. We're on the Tet Zion, Amid Aleph. In the middle, I guess. Let's see, where were we? We're talking about the three.
Oh, yeah. I saw that the Ritva asked her question. One of the Rishonim.
Hold on a second.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna go to the Macolet. Are you gonna have lunch?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that. The Ritva asked my question.
Yeah, you asked a question about
How can he?
essentially what we're saying over here. Remember?
Yeah, how can he sell it when he doesn't own it?
Yeah. So Hiksha Ritva, the Ritva asked the following question: Efshar lomar ma macha rishon l'sheni le'inyan שבעס המקח שהגזלן מוכר את הסודה לכהנה התכוון להקנות לו את כל הזכויות שיבואו לידו. What we're saying essentially is the Goslin is he didn't intend to cheat the guy. He intended to he realizes he doesn't own the property now that he's trying to sell to the purchaser, but he's selling him he's selling him to that he's agreeing to give to cause him to acquire any schut that comes his way in regard to this property.
Right. So he's selling him the future right to the future benefits.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever interest he is going to in the future get to this property, he's selling. That's what he's selling him right now. The right to receive any future interest that he receives in this property. So the Ritva asks, that's not something that you can do. That's not something that you can do. This is what's called bin makne davar shelo bola olam. It hasn't yet come into the world yet.
Right. That's not my question. That's a different question.
Why is that not your question?
My question is, if he doesn't own it, how can he sell anything having anything to do with it? Whether it's the future rights or whether it's the current rights, but he doesn't own it. So he has no authority to sell anything having to do with it.
So what's the difference between what the Ritva is asking?
The Ritva is saying you can't, even if he owned it, he couldn't sell the rights to something that's in the future.
Even if he has them, even if he has such rights, you mean?
Right. Even if he owned it, you can't sell, like, for example, you can't sell the future crop. In America, and I presume probably in Israel also, they have a futures market where you can buy the crop from a farmer that's gonna grow in 6 months.
Yeah.
So my understanding is that's not allowed by halacha, based on the principle you just quoted.
Well, if in fact it's not possible to own something like that, so then that's the same thing that you're saying. It comes together. It amounts to the same thing. Since he can't there's, in other words, there's no such thing as him owning such a right, because there's no way to own such a right, because you can, in other words, not only can you not transfer it, you can't acquire such a right either, because for the very same reason that the Lokea can't acquire it, the Goslin can't have it. If he can't acquire, if he can't sell it to the Lokea, that means that he couldn't have gotten it either. It's for the very same reason. The reason is because it's not in this world. Well, one second. I mean, the property itself is in the world. It's just owned by somebody else.
Right.
The property is in the world, but it's owned by somebody else.
The produce is not in the world. The produce is a bunch of seeds. The wheat that's going to grow is not in the world, but it is something that the owner of the field, the farmer, does in fact own that future wheat, but he can't sell it because it doesn't exist yet.
How could he even own something that doesn't exist?
Because it is inherent in the field itself that those seeds have the potential to grow. The exception to the rule is our dates. Right? You can sell the fruit of a date palm in the future because they're very likely to come. So
I have news for you. Also oranges are very likely to come. That's why the farmer grows them.
Well, I'm just quoting the Gemora about Metzia that says the exception is the fruit of a Perus Hadekel, the fruit of a date palm. So that's an exception to the rule. Now, if I do not own the tree, I can't sell the dates that are going to come in 6 months. But if I do own the tree, I can sell them. That's my point.
Yes.
Okay, but I doubt that the reason is because they're definitely going to come, because other things are also definitely going to come.
Well, maybe the other things are also exceptions. I don't know. I can probably find it for you, and we can look at it if you want. But I got to take a phone call. I'll be back in 1 second. Hello.
Good morning, Phil.
Good morning. In a few minutes, I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to go down to the car. I may have a few minutes more, but we'll do a piece at a time. Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so let's see. We are.
Oh, tools for the couch. Okay, fine.
Okay, so
Okay.
Okay, so we're in the middle of the question of Rami Bar Chama. Rami Bar Chama, Maskif lo Rami Bar Chama. Rami Bar Chama asked the question, Michti hai lokeach b'mai kone l'hai ara. B'hai shtara chaspa ba'almahu. So Rami Bar Chama's claim is that the sale for this property, this won't work, even if we say like Rashi said, even like if we say that the way Rav wanted to answer Shmuel's question about what's the how does it work if the Goslin would turn around and buy the property from the actual owner of the property. And Rav answered him that because the Goslin, when he sold it to the Lokeach, he sold him all the right to receive the ownership of the property if he in the future gets the ownership of the property. So Rami Bar Chama is asking, but how could it work? Because the instrument which he's going to use to say that's the instrument of the acquisition is the shtar, and he says the shtar is chasba ba'alma. It is mere shard. It's a broken piece of pottery. It's not worth anything. Can't do the job. So, did we have no, Rashi doesn't give us any explanation of why he's saying that. So let's see the answer. Amarle Rava. Rava's answering Rav Bar Chama's question.
Amarle Rava. Let's see. I had that a second ago. Amarle Rava. Rava told Rami Bar Chama, Tehei, let this ruling of Rav be explained in a case be ma'amino, where the purchaser relied on the robber. Purchaser relied on the robber. Bechahu hana'a delo ka'amar le midei. In exchange for the satisfaction that the robber receives from the purchaser, that he has faith in his integrity and does not tell him anything regarding the fact that the land was stolen. So the purchaser gets a certain satisfaction because he doesn't know the robber's a robber. Bika samich alei, and he relies upon him. That is, the purchaser relies upon the robber. Arach u'mai lei, that he will exert himself to acquire it for the purchaser. Gamar u'makni lei, the robber makes up his mind and conveys its own ownership to him when he purchases it from the legitimate owner. So in other words, when the robber sees that the purchaser has faith in him, he decides to to change his mode and to go ahead and purchase the land. Is that my understanding this right? Right? Correctly?
Yeah, it sounds that sounds right. Let's see what Rashi has to say about this.
Okay, I'll just read a couple of Rashis and then I'll have to go. Or I'll try to listen from the car for a while. The Tehei is that it is according to Rav, of Rav, Minato, that he believes him. She'amarlo, so because he says to him, I rely upon you to Chanana,
Shetitnena,
that you gave him, be your day in your hand.
that you'll give it to me.
You will give it.
You'll give it
into my hand.
Yeah. Yeah, biodi, right. Biodi is the last word of the Rashi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm relying on you to be able to give it to me. So that those words of expressing confidence in the abilities and in the integrity of this Goslin, so that's going to melt the Goslin's heart. And he will be. Now we have the last. The next one, Rashi, is also what it says. Torah u'meisila gamar umaknele.
Wait. The Gemara Umakli that he finished it. He finished it and he purchased it for him, or so to speak.
Makni.
Makli is this part of purchasing. Gemara finished it in his mind up, and he did it for him. And then the Gemara Makni, I just saw that for a second. I had it 2 seconds ago. There it is. Kishalakha, when he purchased it, Mebalim from the owners are Rishonim, from the original owners.
Yeah, Rashi seems to be making a point. I mean, the Gemora is making the point. This Gomer Omaknile, Rashi is saying Gomer Omaknile means Gomer over here means he concluded in his mind. He concluded in his mind. He made up his mind. In other words, that Umaknile, that he was going to be makna this property to the Lokeach. And Rashi is saying, when was it that this Goslin thought to do this? When the Goslin turned around and subsequently went back to the one that he stole it from and bought it from that Bailim Harishonim. He's the one who's called the Bailim Harishonim. He's the original owner of this property. At that time that he bought it from him, his intention in buying it from him was that, now I'm going to be able to be makna this property to my purchaser, the one that I have already sold the property to.
What does that mean, be makna to him?
It's a causative language. To cause, if Jew number one is makna to Jew number two, what that means is that Jew number one is causing with his action and his mindset to cause Jew number two to make an acquisition.
Uh-huh.
because in other words, Jew number one has the ownership interest, and now when he's makna it to Jew number two, that's basically what we would call in English, he's selling it to him. What does Jew number one do when he sells something to Jew number two? He's makna the article to Jew number two. What does that mean? In the lexicon of the Talmud, it means he's causing Jew number two to make an acquisition in that item.
I see.
Okay, so I'm just looking at the answer that is given for the Ritva's question about how is it that he can be makna a davar shelo bo la'olam. The Ritva says that hakavona hi shebavadai das hagazlan b'shas knias hasoda liknosa almanas lizkois bo lakoina. V'zema shehagemora shoelet lahalan my taima madua anu omrim shekach haisa da'ato shalamocher b'shas hakniya. 1 second over here. What does that say? The kavana of the Gazlan is Vadai Dasa Gazlan B'shas Knias Hasada at the time that he actually did acquire the Sada from the original owner. His intention was Liknosa, to acquire it almanas on condition lizkos bo lokeach, on condition to make it that his purchaser would now be zocha in the property. And that is reflected in what the Gemora says later on. My taima. What's the reason? Madua anu omrim shekach haisa dato shalamocha b'shas hakniya. Why is it that we say that was his intention at the time that he bought it from the original owner? Maybe, I don't know. Let's what's the Gemara going to ask my timer? The Gemara is not through with this. Okay, so we have more to go over here. Okay, let's keep on reading. Masif Rav Sheshes. Now Rav Sheshes asks a question.
Okay, let's see if I can find that. Masif Rav Sheshes.
Yeah.
Sheshes challenged this reasoning from a brisa. Ma she yirash ma ma'aba machor lach. If one transacts a deal with his fellow, telling him, that which I will inherit from my father is sold to you, ma shitale mitsudasi machor lach. Or he tells him that which is my net,
that which I'm going to catch in my net,
that which my net will catch is sold to you. Okay, so these are more examples of future things. Although there's a difference between, the inheritance, well, it can change. So I guess I take it back. There's no difference. Lo Amar Klum, he hasn't said anything. Sale is ineffective. Ma she'irash min abba hayom mechor lach. However, if he tells his fellow, that which I will inherit from my father today is sold to you, ma she'ta'aleh mitzudasi hayom mechor lach, or he tells him, that which my net will catch today is sold to you. So the first statement was, that which my net will catch is sold to you. He didn't say today. Divarav kayamim. His words stand. Okay, so depends on how much he's pushing it. If he says, that which I'll inherit, and he doesn't give a time, or that which I'll catch and he doesn't give a time, it doesn't work. But if he gives a time of today for either of those, it does work.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be a question on what we just got through answering about that the purchaser says he's somach on the seller, and he's going to do good by him. That if that would be so then it doesn't seem to make any difference over here. That what was said, it depends on whether it was an open-ended thing or whether it's something that's restricted to today. But it doesn't matter what the buyer says to the seller. I think that's the question that Rav Sheshes is asking over here.
Right. So I think what we're learning is that, what was the original case? The original case was, the future benefits that would come to the field, but they weren't specified. It was kind of a vague notion. So based on this, I would say that vague notions don't cut it.
Okay.
Point of this, I will inherit, and I will inherit today. Today is specific, inherit is vague.
In other words, the question would be like this: if in the Reisha it says that he just said, whenever it is that I'm going to get my Yerusha from my father, I'd sell it to you. And we said that in that case, Lo Amar Klum, his words have no effect. So our question is, 1 second. According to what we just got through saying, if the if the if the recipient would have said, "Oh, I'm somech on you that you'll be able you'll whatever you get you'll give it to me, you'll sell it to me." So then it should be effective. Why is it not effective? Why would we say lo amar klum? Oh, so Rami Bar Chama is going to answer this challenge of Rav Sheshes. See, it says Amar Rami Bar Chama.
Yes. Amar Rami Bar Chama, ha gavra v'ha tiyuvta. Here we have a great man, Rav Sheshes, and here is the refutation. He raised befitting his greatness. Just as the Brisa in the first two cases teaches that a purchaser does not acquire future acquisitions of the seller, so too in this case, purchaser should not acquire the stolen land, which is only a future acquisition of the robber.
Again, what are they saying?
Yeah, I didn't get that either. Okay, so Rami Bar Chama said, here you have a great man, Rav Sheshes, and here is the refutation he raised, befitting his greatness. Just as the Brisa in the first two cases teaches that a purchaser does not require future acquisitions of the seller, so too in this case, the purchaser should not acquire the stolen land, which is only a future acquisition of the robber. Oh, I see. It's using the rule about not acquiring things that are future as a precedent to say the whole deal is no good.
Okay. Oh, so in other words, Ram Bar Chama is not given an answer to the challenge that Rav Sheshes raised. He's just commenting favorably that he's asked a good question.
Right.
In other words, Rav is the one who originally answered Shmuel's question, and he said that in this case, where the Goslin would buy the property from the original owner, he said that when at the time that he buys it, that acquisition that he makes, the property will now go right over to the purchaser who originally purchased this property from the Goslin after he stole it from the original owner. So that's what Rav said. But Rav Sheshes is asking on Rav. It's not going to work. Okay. What time is it now? 27. Okay.
Well, the fact that he's a great man really doesn't have that much to do with it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of like a it's just sort of like a those are the words that he said. He's saying like, look, Rav Sheshes is a Gabra Rabba, and a Gabra Rabba he raises good points. Basically, what he's saying is that he agrees with Rav Sheshes that this is a significant challenge to the position of Rav. There's a Rashi over here on this Hod Gabra Hod Tiyufta. Hare Adam Godol Ukamahu Chuvaso. Look here, you have Rav Sheshes. He's an Adam Godol, and just like just like we know that he's an Adam Godol, so too his challenge that he's made over here is a very, very significant and serious objection that needs to be right. Diktani lo yamar klum. The Brisa says lo yamar klum in the Resha. Ukashiyaresh lo ikona lo keach. And accordingly, when Jew number one, the son of the deceased, inherits that property, it will not result in a kinyan on behalf of the would-be buyer of that property. Kevin hahi shaita lav didei habe niksei aviv. Oh, there it seems like Rashi's saying exactly like you, Lou. Why is it that it won't work at all? Says Rashi, Kevin the hahi shaita, because at that time that the son said this, lav didei habu niksei aviv. His father's property did not yet belong to him. It's exactly what you're saying.
Right.
This what Rab says that a person could say to a prospective buyer. He could say, "Look, even though I don't own the property now, whatever interest that I do attain in the property in the future, I'm selling to you." That's the way Rab explained the case, and Rav Sheshes is saying that you see from this brisa, not like what Rab said. So this brisa represents a tiyufta on Rab.
Yep. I think.
Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi. Have a good day.
Very good. All the best.
All right. See you tomorrow, Mr. Hashem.
Oh, Yom Rishon. I mean, rather Yom Shishi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our one class, right?
Yeah.
All right. See you then.